Time to get real. I want to see some crazy whiz-biz.
What's the magic made out of, Ding Dong?
I want to see some of that whiz-biz.
This castle is in unacceptable condition! Unacceptable! Mathematical!
You can't like that.
Bacon pancake!
Welcome to the WizBiz podcast, WizBiz with Alex and Eric, the finest Adventure Time podcast in the galaxy, or at least in the solar system, or at least in North America.
Well, let's just say it's the finest Adventure Time podcast that we're aware of. I feel like that way, like legally, that is a binding statement and we cannot be sued for, some kind of whatever you get sued for when you lie.
That sounds fair. Slander, maybe?
I don't know.
Libel?
You're from a lawyer family, aren't you? You should know this stuff. Because the law, I don't know if you know this, but knowledge of the law is an inheritable trait.
Oh, really? Yeah. I think there's also a thing in there where you have to like listen to your parents.
Yeah. I'm definitely not willing to do that.
In this episode, we are going to wrap up season 3 of Adventure Time. We're going to breeze over season 3 episodes 22 through 24. And then we're going to spend a lot of time painfully and arduously discussing and dissecting episode 25, Dad's Dungeon, and episode 26, named
Incendium.
So how's it going, Alex?
It's going very well. I can inform the audience that I have torn apart our studio to do some live Twitch streaming, which I was very proud of myself. This is what I figured out. And this is something you shouldn't be proud of because literally 6-year-olds figure this out. But I managed to change the title, which is the last time I tried to do it, I fucked up and was saying we were doing just chatting and I was playing Slay the Spire, whatever the fuck happened. I managed to make my green screen work.
Oh, sweet.
It looked like shit, but that's because I'm figuring out the lighting. But I plugged in 2 different key light things. Well, one key light and blah, blah, blah. I made things look okay for a very not lightable room. So with all that said, on our YouTube channel now, youtube.com/@WizBizPodcast.
I think so, yeah.
I think there's an @ I never remember their naming convention. But yes, me playing the original 8-bit Legend of Zelda is up, which was a fun revisit and a really weird kind of walk down memory lane of, I have no memory of this.
Really?
Yet sometimes the most granular, tiny detail occurs to me. So like, I couldn't remember where one of the main early dungeons was. Just completely slipped my mind. But then I walked by this tree and I burned it because I knew there was a staircase there. Like the most tiny, nothing thing. But for some reason that stuck in my memory. But it was just, it was really interesting. I mean, it was interesting for me, and all 7 of you out there, you should go and smash that bell and subscribe, etc.
Yeah, I do all that cool stuff. I haven't played Legend of Zelda since the year it came out, probably, or, the 80s. I haven't played it since the 80s, so I remember almost nothing of it. But I really liked the second one. The Adventures of Link? The Adventures of Link, yeah, I really liked that one. That one was a side scroller, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, the fight sections were side scrollers, but the world map was top down. Which I found interesting. Yeah, that game's fun. I have a vague memory of the last time I Twitch streamed. I may have done that one because I played it somewhat recently, but I don't know if that was just I got bored and played it. I know I didn't beat it because I got really frustrated at one point, and I was like, I don't want to look things up. This game's stupid. But I mean, it's a great game, but it was like one of those, I can play better games. What am I doing with myself? Why am I wasting my life this way?
So are you playing it? You have an NES simulator somewhere?
I mean, legally, I have a Nintendo Entertainment System and a cartridge that I did whatever the thing you need to do. No, I have an emulator. I do own the cartridge, which, from what I've heard, not that I particularly care, because we're not making money off this, so no one's going to give a shit. But the legal of that old of a system is, if you can prove you own the cartridge, emulated streaming is kosher.
Okay.
Because you're not actually stealing any content. You own the content. It's just a different. Yeah.
I still have the cartridge for the Adventures of Link. And I remember
yeah.
it's a gold cartridge, and
Yes.
I think it was one of the really early ones that allowed you to save games. Like it's got memory in it. You can save your game in Adventure.
Yeah,
Link.
the original Zelda has that as well.
Oh, really? So it had a memory chip also.
Yes, but no, you have to manually save in part 2 as well. Because in the original Zelda, there's a save bar that you have to go to after you die. But there may be a way to do it if you don't die. I can't answer that. I'm not that good.
So I have some exciting news, which is that my birthday is happening soon, and I just got my first. If I'm lucky, yeah. I only have to make it a little while longer. I got my first birthday gift today. Some internet friends sent me this. I don't know if you can see it.
It says, nice. Dr. Chuck Tingle's adult coloring book. That is fantastic. There's more words, but I couldn't read the other ones.
Dr. Chuck Tingle's adult coloring and activity book for true buckaroos.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
And on the cover, there's some sort of green dinosaur man with a giant crayon. So I got this and a box of colored pencils, and it's filled with...
we've got, let's see, a gorilla bartender and a sexy shirtless buff man.
Yeah.
I presumably
they're all like that. They're all like that.
Yeah. I think that lizard there, he had a series of books where he had sex with a humanoid dinosaur. That's probably the lizard on the front.
There are humanoid dinosaurs. Oh, now I'm looking at a picture of a humanoid unicorn.
Yeah. Now that's more my style right there.
Well, I'll photocopy that for you.
Yeah.
So
please don't.
It.
But I guess in context of an entertainment show, yes, do that.
We've mentioned this a few times over the last couple episodes, how we feel like we've been missing our mark, where we really wanted to get into like the occult reference stuff in this game or in the show and stuff. And there's just so many episodes in the first few seasons that just don't have any of that in it. And so we talked about, zooming through stuff. So we've done that with this episode. I watched episodes 22, 23, and 24, and Alex did not.
I've watched them within the past 3 years.
Yeah.
So not like terribly far. I remember them, which is why I was kind of strident about. I have not. I don't think there's anything. Apparently, you came up with something to say about these episodes, but I had nothing. I'm like, why put ourselves through this? Let's just get to season 4. I know there's cool shit in there.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a little bit.
Now I want to hear
3,
it.
episode 22.
I just didn't have it.
Well, season 3, episode 22 is called Paper Pete, and it takes place in the library, which I really like. I love the Adventure Time library. It's a great.
Yeah, with the turtle. I almost said bartender,
Yeah.
the turtle librarian.
Yeah, Turtle Princess or Turtle Librarian Princess, whatever the heck. She is.
I should hope it's Turtle Librarian Princess, because she's a princess and still has to work like a pretty low paid job. That's kind of bullshit.
Yeah. So is she Turtle Princess who's forced to be a librarian because Turtle Kingdom is bankrupt?
Is it because their economy's slow?
Oh.
I wish I could do a
Yes.
Jake voice, because I feel like that was a very bad Jake joke, but I can't do the impression.
Well, I feel like if either of us could do a Jake voice, we would probably be voice actors, and then we'd be making more money.
Yeah. Or we'd just be like not good at another thing involving microphones. All right, so tell me about the thing this is funny, because that's not the episode I thought you were going to have insight into. So please tell me about this Paper Pete.
Okay, so there are a couple things in this episode. First, Jake, they're at the library because Jake wants to read the Rainicornucopia, which is a book about the history of the Rainicorns. And he's like, I really love, Lady Rainicorn, and there, someday I might have half Rainicorn puppies with her. So he does predict, all of the babies that he has. Second, there's a scene where Finn knocks a bunch of books off a shelf, and one of them is a book with the Ice King's crown on it.
Oh,
which made me think of the Fiona and Cake book. I doubt it's the same one, because I think that one was about the Enchiridion or something. And then there are two really good. Well, there's one really interesting theme throughout the episode, which is that Jake accuses Finn of making up stuff, and that many of their adventures are imaginary.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wait, Jake accuses Finn.
Uh-huh. Yeah, because
That's-
Jake's like, I really want to read this book, and I don't have time for one of your imaginary adventures. You're always making stuff up.
Oh, interesting. Because
Yeah.
in the dynamic of the two, Jake is definitely the one he's more of the confabulist.
Unless we're dealing with an unreliable narrator in Finn. Who knows? I mean, think about in Fiona and Cake when Finn is trying to cheer up Simon, and he's like, well, let's wear these blindfolds and walk into this dangerous forest.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of a made-up adventure. Like, you don't need to walk blindfolded through a forest.
Well, I guess I would say, like, what isn't a made-up adventure then? Because he did it.
I don't know.
So
He did, yeah.
I
True.
mean,
Yeah,
everything's a
good
made-up
point.
adventure. You gotta, it's like when people say that word's made up. Yeah, they all are.
Yeah.
Every single word was made up.
There's a sequence where Finn is walking along and reading the titles of books, and all of the titles end with itties. So, like kitties, cities, and he goes on and he goes on. And the joke is, I think, that they're teasing that he might say titties. And he never does. It sort of devolves into like made up words, and he never says titties.
I kind of
and then
remember
right
that
at
joke.
the end. Yeah, and then right at the end, probably the best joke of the episode is Finn's, when they're leaving the library, Finn's like, so did you learn anything out of the book? And Jake's like, oh, not really. I read the same paragraph over and over again for 11 minutes, which is the length of the episode. So yeah, anyhow, that was the only thing. I think the only two big things in there were the Ice King crown book and what do you call it? The foreshadowing of the pups.
Yeah. My temptation to talk about this episode was that the Rainicorn dog war, like that there'd be detail of it. And then I sat down and thought about the episode and what I remember of it. I'm like, I'm pretty sure nothing actually is revealed. So that's kind of why I wanted to include it. I think this episode, if it wasn't in a sequence with two more skippables, this may have made it to the main show. It's just that it was in a perfect block of skippability that, like, sorry, bro, you got dragged down by the Patriots. Learn how to be episode 3 next time, jerk.
I totally agree with you, because I think we would have had a good time discussing the episode otherwise. But we got to get to the good stuff. So,
yeah. Also, the last two episodes of this season really presage a lot of the good stuff of Adventure Time. So I didn't want to sit through 3 episodes of, it might be fun to talk about, but like we got real Adventure Time things happening. We got people chanting in various made up or Latin languages. I mean, it's such good stuff happening. So the only comment I was thinking about the episodes that we skipped is episode 3, the third of the episodes, which is 24-ish, Ghost Princess. That Ghost Princess does own a bit of my heart, being a young goth. Well, I'm not young anymore, but I used to be a young goth. And I just feel like, yeah, I get it, lady. But the episode is underwhelming. I mean, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's like a cute little whodunit about a centuries long ago murder or whatever.
Yeah, but it also, it's a self-contained story. It doesn't really bleed out into the rest of the show at all. Yeah.
But the idea of Ghost Princess is like very, very close to my heart in the kind of the deep Tim Burton recesses of my soul. I resonate with that concept.
I mean, I'm way more into the Fruit Babes myself.
Yeah, you would. Because you're more of that kind of like Greek style weird, where like you like ladies with chicken feet that like draw you towards the shore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into season 3, episode 25, Dad's Dungeon.
Yes.
Which is a high-tech episode. There's some high technology in here.
What a terrific episode. Big fan of it. I love Joshua and Margaret, but Joshua's the one in this episode. Nothing will win me over quicker than someone doing a mid-Atlantic accent.
Oh,
that
man,
kind of like old-timey it's so, there's something so, I don't know, maybe because I was raised on the East Coast and it was like when I was young, I was kind of obsessed with England as a concept that like somehow like, it's like, you're combining the two things I know. Like it's just, but there's, I love it so much. And Joshua just like, I don't want a whole episode with him, but in my head, I just wanted a whole episode with him talking.
Yeah. I love that there's a hollow message player. Like all of a sudden this high tech stuff comes in because, we've been dealing with, I think the last time the only high tech thing you really see running around most of the time is BMO. And he puts VHS tapes in his butt.
Oh, yay, butt stuff. what other high tech? That's a good point. We haven't really had a lot of high technology yet.
No.
Huh.
Ooh, butt stuff.
Exactly. First of 2 episodes that starts with some of our main characters on a roof.
Mm-hmm.
And they see the sparkles of the hollow message, which is an interesting concept.
Which is a ghost.
Yeah. So, although I guess Ghost Princess does prove the afterlife, but
yeah,
it's interesting that how many years later after Joshua died, finally this message is revealed. So, like, is he floating in some kind of like, limbo this entire time? Limbo?
I don't know. I mean, the ghosts of Joshua and Margaret, or the afterlife spirits of them, do show up in post. God, what were they called? Faraway Lands.
Do they?
Yeah, in the episode where Finn goes to the afterlife, where Finn dies and he goes to find Jake in the afterlife, they
I
do
don't remember that
find.
part.
Yeah, they find Joshua and Margaret there in death, in the land of the dead.
We'll eventually talk about them, I'm sure, but I was not overly fond of the Faraway Lands episodes. Some have some good points, but like they didn't stick with me. I think I probably only watched them once. Like, you know, they're just kind of. Well,
we watched the BMO one twice.
Yeah, but that was for our job.
So the thing that one of the things that I find really funny about this episode is like in that first hollow message thing, like when Joshua is sort of holding the babies, he squeezes both of them, and it makes Finn start crying, which makes sense. I feel like if you squeeze a human baby, it's going to start crying. Yeah, them's the rules. Yeah, that's generally how it works. Yeah, but Jake's a magic dog, so you could squeeze him. He's squishy. Yeah,
interesting. It's interesting that he doesn't include Jerome in this at all.
I don't think they included Jerome in anything until much later.
I know. I'm just, like, it's a big kind of we didn't think about it plot hole. There's 2 very major ones in the next episode, but we'll get to it.
I think part of it is Jerome might be older. I don't think Jerome and Jake are the same age.
Does he say my older brother Jerome?
I don't know.
I always imagine them as being the same age.
Yeah, because
no, they are. No, of course they are. We're being stupid. It's
we are?
Yeah, because Margaret is pregnant with Jerome at the same time Joshua is pregnant with Jake. Because remember, she's pregnant, and then the alien bites him in the forehead, which is how Jake is born.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, so they're almost exactly the same age. So this I've just disproven the show's
it is.
quality.
It's a hole.
They're wrong.
It's a hole.
This show is wrong. The show for babies is wrong under scrutiny.
So Joshua's like, I've made a dungeon to toughen Finn up. It's not a really impressive dungeon, but it does have some fun monsters. The hot dog monster and the hamburger monster. Yeah, the mimic of hot dogs and hamburgers. Super fun. I guess it's interesting that as a baby, and I guess because Finn cried when he got squeezed, but it's interesting that Joshua, in his astral form, who apparently has to be aware of the world in some way, waited for Finn to be 13-ish, and also having defeated very serious monsters in his life, he decides, now's the time I'm going to call you a baby and get you to tough it up. There's a logic leap here that I'm not okay with, Joshua. I think you're just being a jerk. He's being a bad dad. Yeah. He gets Jake to call Finn a whiny baby. Well, that's also, that's Jake being a bad brother. Come on, dude. Yeah. Well, he was trying to have dad. He's trying to be faithful to his dad. You saw it hurt Jake so much to do it. He didn't want to do it. Yeah, but your dad's dead, dude. What's he going to do? Yell at you if you don't do it? Yeah, he's just honoring the memory of his dad. That's his dad's half an asshole. So kick rocks, Joshua. Well, look, you're not Jake. Yeah, thank God. I'm much nicer to my brothers in that I don't talk to them. Because they're a bunch of whiny babies. That's the main reason. It's also because I'm a terrible person. That's like the 99% reason, but that 1% is that carries a lot of weight, that being whiny babies. And by whiny babies, I mean successful people with successful lives, whiny babies, homeowners and wives, and did something with their lives. You've done something with your life. No, I meant something good, though. Sorry, it was implied. I should have been more specific. Oh, my God. So the prize... Sorry, before we move on. Yes. The Mimics fight where he fights the hot dog and hamburgers, the part where Finn pulls out one of their brains
with his
Yes!
raw hand, and Jake just goes, "Ew!"
Yeah.
Really fun moment.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Finn is so capable that this dungeon doesn't really prove to be a huge challenge.
Oh yeah,
for
this is
him.
easy mode. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he easily charms the stink monster. You know,
I can't remember.
like
Have we seen the episode where Jake tells Finn that he's not helping him for a dungeon, and Finn just gets the shit kicked out of him?
Yeah. Isn't that the one with the displacer beast?
Okay, yeah. See, that dungeon was
Yeah.
far more difficult. Like, this thing was
That
lightweight.
dungeon was brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one was just a piece of cake in comparison.
Yeah, and
so
your
you're right.
girlfriends are
Like,
in it. The fruit sirens.
the fruit witches. I mean, they originally call them fruit babes, which is what I wrote down, but then later on they're called the fruit witches.
I just like the way they're doing, like, partake of the fruit. It just feels very siren-y.
Oh man, and that scene where one of the fruit witches gets turned into fruit, and then the other ones eat her and
Very
reveal
cool.
like her skeleton inside the giant
Yes.
apple. Gruesome.
Also, very
so dark.
Who's that? Who's the
Cronenbergian.
underworld lady with the pomegranate?
Persephone.
Yeah, it's got like that kind of vibe. I mean, obviously Persephone just getting
Yeah.
eaten by her sisters, but it's got this like forbidden fruit. You can't eat it when you're in this, this deep underground place.
Yeah. I really like that. It was done. It was done really well. And then I love the that they're defeated by a fart.
Yeah, I'm on record as saying I'm not a big Flatus fan, but that's fine.
No, I don't think you are on record saying that. I feel like you're.
I've been saying that for years.
Of...
I really dislike fart jokes. It's not.
Really?
I mean, I'm gross in every other way, just inexplicably. Don't find them funny. Find them kind of annoying.
Is that's the only category of jokes you don't like?
I mean, honestly, I'd rather hear like the world's most disgusting abortion joke than a fart jokes. No, I don't like racist jokes either, unless they're really good.
Okay, but nobody likes racist jokes.
Racists do.
Except racists.
What? Oh,
Yeah,
what?
but-
You know, racists aren't people now to you? Wait, who am I defending? Hold on.
Nope. They're not people.
All right, fair enough. I'm down with it. You hear that, MAGA? I'm also on record as saying I don't like a lot of the music in this show, mostly when Jeremy Shada sings. However, Jake beatboxing over the remixed Hollow Message of Joshua was, if I may sound like a child, was a bop. I enjoyed the shit
It
out
was
of that.
amazing when he remixes it. So he's like, the sword is made of babies.
Yes, it's super fun, and yeah, that gives Finn the gumption to get up and just beat the living shit out of this thing at the center of the
That last monster.
With,
I mean, it ended up
with
not being.
Joshua's
It was
sword.
huge, and yeah, it wasn't that really that tough. The notes on the wiki point out that the key to unlock the sword was around the monster's wrist.
I saw
But
the key there. I
Finn
couldn't
didn't-
figure out what it was.
Yeah, Finn didn't give a shit. He just went and broke the chains and took the sword, and it's the demon sword. I'm excited about this. Finn goes through a number of really significant swords, and the demon sword, it does play a really significant role later on. Maybe in a Hunts and Abadir episode, I want to say.
I think you're
Or
right.
some other sort of. Yeah.
I think he stabs Hunts and Abadir with the sword at some point.
I think he does too. I mean, you can't kill Hunts and Abadir.
Yeah. Did you happen to write down what the mantra is to dispel the demon? It's like Ki Otho Rama Pancake.
Yes, Ki Oth Rama Pancake.
Oh, I was really close. Okay. I couldn't,
Yeah.
the Keoth part, I couldn't quite figure out if that was right or not.
Ki Oth Rama Pancake.
Because, this goes to the crux of the mantra in this world, like the one we use to summon Hunts and Abadir. This is part of the magical workings of the Adventure Time verse.
Right. It's a little bit of occult lore. And for a while there, we were really interested in finding these sorts of like occult incantations in cartoons, right? So we did the Hunts and Abadir one. We did
Etrigan the Demon.
Etrigan the Demons. Etrigan the Living Demon. Wasn't there another one we did too, or that we might have talked about?
Those are the only two that I remember doing.
Because there aren't a whole lot of them out there.
Yeah,
But
I think we
found
discussed
another one.
other ones and just never did it. Yeah, because the next Halloween was when we did that Arnemancy / Alex Cast combined show, and we didn't do any kind of like weird occulty stuff there. That was just a
It was
chat
because
time.
there was a pandemic on we couldn't meet up in person.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. Glad
Yeah.
that's over.
I found another cartoon incantation in Gravity Falls. The first time Bill Cipher shows up, they do a ritual to summon him.
I think actually that may have been what we were discussing, because
Oh, was it?
I think
Yeah.
that was my first Gravity Falls watch was around then.
Yeah. It's really, really short, but it uses a lot of candles.
Yes.
Yeah.
I vaguely remember that. I haven't watched that show in a little bit. Well, that's not true. I've been rewatching it like very recently, but I haven't been watching like in order. Like it just kind of like bouncing around, like the episodes that are like, I kind of remember that being fun.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. Like this episode is significant because of the family stuff, because of the introduction of the demon sword, and because it does kind of display Finn's development as a hero, I think.
And Jake's fascination with pancakes.
Hey, pancakes are awesome.
I know,
Everybody has a
but you know,
fascination with pancakes.
Jake's famous bacon pancakes. I don't know if you know this, but Keoth Rama is bacon in, I don't know,
In
Klingon.
in Nidospheres.
yeah. It's better than the original Klingon. Really, this is a foundational episode of like some of the backstory and like where we're heading with Jake's background, with Joshua, with the whole demonic presence of the universe.
Yeah. So I think that's good. That's good. Everybody should watch this episode and then yell at us about how we're wrong.
Yeah, don't do
on
that.
Blue
though.
Sky,
I'm sensitive.
where
But
we
you
are
definitely go to
WizBiz
Blue
Podcast.
Sky. Yeah,
Blue
WizBiz
Sky.
Podcast
Yes.
on Blue Sky. Do that.
Yeah. Okay. So it's time for a segment. Hold on. Do I have a sound effect for that?
Reveal the path and grant me passage. Reveal the path and grant me passage.
I only have the same.
No,
collection of-
here's the problem with that. There's no problem with that. I love that. I was doing a Rule 34 thing in my head.
Oh no.
It just reveal the path and grant me passage.
Gross. No. Now I'm doing a Rule 34 thing in
I'm
my
not
head.
filling in the blanks, but I think the audience at home, I think there's a bunch of ways to take that in a dirty direction.
Yeah. Audience at home, please. If you do feel the need to take that in a dirty direction, please pause the podcast while doing it because.
I was going to say I'm Alex Bolin on Blue Sky. I'm still on Twitter as Alex Bolin, so like hit me up. I'm like my brain's already broken. It can't get worse than this. So have fun. Yeah, enjoy.
Yeah, that's definitely it. Should go in everybody's.
Feel free to reveal
OnlyFans.
your path to me and grant me
Yeah,
passage.
if you need the wave file for it, I'd be happy to pass it along, audience.
Yeah. No, I was just more looking for like DM titties, but you know. All right, so I got some shiny rocks if you want them.
Well, I was actually just about to ask. Do you have any shiny rocks?
I do. I have got a bunch of shiny rocks, and
all right, let's reveal some shiny rocks.
I have 15 shiny rocks from
15.
Well, I mean, we're not going to do all of them. This is
Okay.
from citationmachine.net. This is 15 old-timey words we need to bring back. So
I'm excited. I love old timey words.
I'm going to start with what I think is a good one, and then you can choose some at random. Cavalier, Caviler.
Cavalier.
Yeah.
Don't know it.
That is a person who raises trivial objections. The example sentence I have is, ugh, Mark is such a cavalier. Every time we say an idea, he always has some sort of ridiculous issue with it. Which I'm not saying it's like 100% accurate to me, but like it's not inaccurate.
Yeah, I mean, I've always had that feeling about Mark.
Yeah. Fucking Mark.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm going to do one more and then you can choose. I forgot this one's good too.
Okay.
Bijou.
Well, I know that there's, I think a bijou is a type of theater.
Yeah. Thank you. That's not what this is, but I think they're related.
Oh.
Because I knew that word too. Or there's a word that sounds like that. Because I was like, no, that's like some kind of entertainment thing. I wasn't thinking theater, but yeah, it's same concept.
Well, I know that there in Eugene, which is a city in Oregon, for those of you who aren't aware, and Alex, you might not know that either. Eugene's a city in Oregon.
I have been to Eugene more than once. I've played a disc golf tournament in Eugene.
When I was just a young Eric, I used to go to the Bijou Theater in Eugene, and I always wanted to know what that meant. And I remember looking it up and being like, "Oh, it's a type of theater." But I mean, that was also a long time ago, so it could have been my imagination.
But this is also an old timey word because I can sort of see where this might be the origin of that. So anyway, this is it is the plural form of jewelry or trinkets.
Oh,
so singular version is bijou. So this one is bijous. The singular is bijou. But I can see kind of costume jewelry could lead to there could be a etymological pairing twixt those two words. Sure. Okay, so I told you
but
number
don't
one
you
and
say, so you say bijou and bijou the same way though, right? I'm
sure if I were better at French or I bothered to look it up, there might be a subtle pronunciation difference. But I think it might be bijou and bijou. Bijou might be the singular bijou because O-U-X
this is like
I think is U
Aaron
sound.
and Aaron thing, isn't it?
Well, did you not hear the difference between those two? Because I swear I was saying two different things that time.
I heard the difference.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I'd say, you got your broken ass West Coast ears.
Whatever. You don't even have a mid-Atlantic accent.
I don't. I wish I did.
I know. I wish I did too.
Oh, the styles before me.
We got to toughen you up. See?
Okay. So I'd give you number 1 and number 3 of 15. You pick a couple more till we get bored of this.
Okay. I'm going to pick 2 based on my birthday. So let's do 11 for the month.
Okay. 11. Okay,
Alex
good. No, I'm going to read the word. Oh, I know why it sounded weird to me. Okay. Picaroon.
Okay. Picaroon.
P-I-C-A-R-O-O-N.
Oh my God. Yes, I know this one. I know that I've come across. I read a lot of Victorian novels.
That is the word you're thinking of. This is used in that time.
And I cannot remember this one. I don't know.
It is a scoundrel.
I was gonna guess it was something like that. Okay, like Mark the Cavalier. He's a bit of a picaroon.
Don't even get me started on that guy. Okay, that was number 11, and what's the other one?
And then the next, let's do for the day of my birthday.
14?
12.
12. Close enough. Quaggy.
Quaggy. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say that it's possibly marshy or swampy.
Exactly. I was going to say this is guessable. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, exactly. Marshy or boggy. Yeah. Yeah, because a quag is a great Scrabble word. And it's the only reason I know it. Because it's got 2 G's and a Q. A lot of points there.
Oh, man. So quag on its own has 2 G's?
No, you're right.
1 G. It's 1 G.
Yeah, it's 1 G. It's still a good amount of points. Yeah. 14. That's
okay,
right.
let's it goes up to 15, huh?
Yeah.
Let's do a prime number. How about number 7?
Oh, good. There's a couple of really easy ones. This is not one. Oh, you might know this. Oh, wait, now you do know this. Fantods.
Fantods?
Yeah.
I don't know it. How do you spell it?
It's FAN-TODS. Their description is, if you've read Mark Twain's Huckleberry Finn, you might recognize this word. When you're in a state of apprehension or restlessness, you've got the Fantods.
I don't remember that.
So, no, I didn't think you'd remember that, but that is the name of the Edward Gorey, in quotes, tarot deck, which is more of a...
really?
Yeah, the Fantod deck. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I thought you'd be familiar with that, and then back. Not that I could have defined it, but you could go, "Oh, that's that Edward Gorey deck thing."
Yeah, I actually do not have the Edward Gorey deck. I would love to have it, but I'm not all into the goth stuff.
Well, shockingly enough, of course I have it. It's not a full deck, but it's cool. Next time you're here, I'll show you it. Yeah. All right, I'm going to do one more. No, you're gonna guess them, but don't guess 15 or 14 because they're super, super easy regular words that are still in use.
Let's do 4.
Oh, 4 is a good one. Crinkum, crankum. Crinkum dash crankum.
Crinkum, crankum.
Yeah, CRINKUM. CRANKUM.
Okay, I'm going to guess crinkum, crankum is probably a term to refer to like a bunch of junk, like trinkets and stuff. Look at all this crinkum, crankum that we've got to clean up.
You're not... I'm going to give you 3 out of 5 points. That was really close.
Okay.
No, I'm going to give you all 5.
Okay.
first documented in 1670, this word refers to elaborate decoration or detail, perhaps one that skews on the more excessive side. The crinkum crankum on the shirt collar might be a bit much, but it does make it memorable.
Or I love Christmas because of all the crinkum crankum on the Christmas tree.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But that was 1670, and that was before America was founded, so Christmas didn't exist. I know.
Right. Yes, because
I wanted to be fun. That's all the good ones. There's Gadzooks is on here. Rapscallion.
Gadzooks is on there.
Zounds.
Rapscallions and Zound. Those are all easy ones.
Yeah. That's why I wanted to skip that. Oh, you know what? This is a good one, and I
do
think
like Zounds.
I like the ones that you get right. So, do you know what peregrinate is?
Peregrinate. I should, because peregrine is one of those words that I have looked up a million times. Peregrinate probably would be to make peregrine, but I can't remember what peregrine is.
Oh, I thought because you're a birder, like the peregrine falcon. Peregrinate means to travel.
Oh,
so I think the peregrine falcon is the traveling falcon, or they have nothing to do with each other. But I just thought I know you know bird words. You know bird word. Say bird
I mean,
word.
I know the peregrine falcon, of course. I have a great peregrine falcon story, but I'm not going to tell it right now.
Okay, you can tell it after the next episode. All right, that's all we want to read from this list. Because there's also a few more that are hard to pronounce, so I'm closing it.
I mean, Zounds is a really fun one because it's a contraction of God's wounds.
God's wounds, yeah. Gadzooks, I think it's the same contraction, actually.
It might be, but it's an ejaculation.
Yes.
Zounds.
By the way, the best thing if you're out there and you have kids and they're getting to like the advanced reading age, and you're like, oh, you know what would be cool? Let them read the Sherlock Holmes. Man, does Watson ejaculate all over the place. Like
he ejaculates.
There's so much ejaculation. It was very fun because I read that at the age that really made me giggle.
Yeah. I mean, his ejaculate is just sprinkled liberally all over the pages.
The best one is where I think Holmes ejaculated out of a window. It just made me titter.
Oh God. I was drinking. Excuse me. Okay, I'm alive.
Yeah.
Here it
All right,
lives.
so let's talk about the next episode, Incendium.
Incendium.
Lots of good occulty stuff. Well, not lots of good occulty stuff. Lots of good pop culture occulty stuff in here.
This is a really good episode overall, and I think I know some of the plot holes that you're going to be pointing out.
I think one is very obvious, but we'll get to it as the episode goes on.
Yeah,
another episode that starts on a roof. This time, PB has invented liquid pyrotechnics, which is being ejaculated all over the air. And there is I don't cringe for cartoons very often, but Jake is on PB's lap and she calls him puppy. Finn is so jealous that he crawls over, tries to put his head in her lap too. And she's like, Finn, what are you doing, man? Don't make it weird. And I just felt so fucking bad for the young man. Like, oh God, I get it, dude.
Me too. I can understand why Finn has a crush on Princess Bubblegum.
Yeah, she's a smoke show.
She is literally... Yeah, but also she's literally the most capable female character that we've encountered. Maybe aside from Lady Rainicorn, who's a dog. So Finn shouldn't have it.
And
who's a Rainicorn.
Tree Trunks knows how to bake pies. That's pretty good.
Yeah, but Tree Trunks is like... That's like... She'd be like Finn's grandma. I don't think that's possible.
Whatever. I mean, he's already lusting after someone his mom's age. I don't think age is a factor with Mr. Finn.
That's true. Yeah, and why would it be? I mean, they're all non-human. Yeah,
and he wanted to fuck Marceline, and she's like 1,000.
I mean,
look, dude, I ain't blaming him. Oh wait, no, I think I established canonically that I'm not attracted to her. Sorry, I'm trying to keep my own headcanon about myself in line.
Oh, right. With reality, yeah, it's important. You don't want to create some sort of like time-space continuum rift.
Well, the problem with just making shit up at the time and not having the best memory for aforementioned shit is I'll just say the opposite if I think it's also funny. And then it goes, if ever we have an audience, people are like, Alex, you said the exact opposite thing. Like, you told 2 stories of your childhood that completely contradict each other. And I'll go, hey, look over there. So that guy's doing a thing. Then then it'll become a smoke shape.
Look at that cavalier.
Yeah.
Look at that cavalier rummaging around in that box of bijou.
Yes.
What a picaroon.
Yes. So yeah, the cringe moment of Finn in PB's lap is painful. And I felt so bad for the young man for about 6 seconds, and then that fucker starts to sing, and I'm like, nope, don't feel bad anymore. Fuck you. I hate your singing.
Oh man, but then like seeing him like mooning and moping with the pictures and his lock of Princess Bubblegum's hair that he's had for so many episodes. That's like, aside from his backpack and his hat, it's like the thing that shows up in his possession more often than anything else.
Think about how freaking dirty that's got to be. That's a chunk of bubble gum.
It's a lump of bubble
gum.
gum.
All the hair and dust, just the dog hair alone, and
God.
just like whatever BMO excretes. Like, oh boy, it's ugh.
Yeah, because it's always on the floor. He hides it in weird places, and
yeah.
I
mean, I get it though. It's just it's gross. That we didn't talk about it when we were talking about Fiona and Cake. Which, by the way, go to our YouTube channel.
Oh yeah,
and we did a Halloween show where we talked about the entirety of Fiona and Cake, including doing a
we did it in a really fun way, right? Because we did it kind of non-linearly.
Yes, we did bracketed
episodes against each other.
Sports guy, because Eric and I are big sports guys. We sported that shit up. But we didn't talk about, and I wanted to bring it up, and this kind of goes somewhat related to what we're talking about here. That spot where PB just bites a chunk of her own arm off to use it as an adhesive was fucking badass.
Badass.
On a gross level, but like you see that her inner gum is of a darker shade.
Yeah,
like where know the gusher theory that we've come up with in the past. Is
that a theory?
No, we did an audiogram and something to do with gushers, the gum. I don't remember it. Okay. I'm pretty sure I made that one too, but I don't remember
it. So it's impossible. I can't imagine. I mean, I don't know. PB, there's no way that PB doesn't realize that Finn has these feelings.
Oh, she knows.
And
I think she was pretty.
I know, but she never really tells him no. She'll be like, I'm too old for you or something.
She told him absolutely no. Remember when she was young for an episode?
Yeah.
The next episode, she said, no, Finn, I'm far too old for you. We can only be friends. She 100% said in clear language, dude, this ain't happening. No, I'm not. He's 13. That kid ain't hearing it. PB needs to repeat that message and repeat it clearer, because the amount of hormones that young man is dealing with, your brain be full of stupid juice. Like he needs a daily reminder. He needs to have a BMO alarm clock that every morning BMO goes off going, Princess Bubblegum only likes you as a friend. I wish I could do a BMO impression. I can't. Obviously.
I wonder if we could get on, what's that? There's that website where you can get celebrities to send
Cameo,
messages.
Yeah.
Oh wait, but you have the you did the AI thing with BMO's voice.
Yeah, but I only signed up for a month, and I guess we have a couple more weeks that we could do it.
Let's do it. I want that clip. That would be hilarious.
Wait, do you still have that? I don't think the audience at home hasn't heard that clip.
Hello, I am BMO. You are listening to Whiz Biz with Alex and Eric. Also, Alex is super handsome and cool. Eric smells like butts.
I mean, it's as true today
canon?
as it was when it was recorded. And I don't mean human butts. I mean cigarette butts.
Ew.
No, I thought that was better.
Well, I do have a human butt, though.
Yeah, but like, I'm not smelling down there.
Yeah, me neither. I can't reach that far.
Come on, don't sell yourself short. Yeah, okay. So the what happens is Jake says, "Look, anybody that I need to get Finn a girlfriend. I'm going to find her somebody new to crush on." And he leaves BMO in charge of Finn. This is plot hole number 1. It is revealed. He says, watch Finn with your BMO video eyes, or whatever he says.
Mm-hmm.
Later in the episode,
and
it is shown
Jake
that he
has a little device.
He has a device that he can see through BMO's eyes what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm not going to list them because I can't think of one off the top of my head, but I'm sure there's been 1,700 episodes where that would have come in handy. Anytime BMO went missing, like there's just and it's forgotten about. And I'm not actually complaining, but it just jumped out of like, man, that would have been really handy later.
The thing that really struck me about it is this was the second episode in a row where that kind of like holographic video technology showed up. Like we had weird sci-fi gadgets 2 episodes in a row, and that those do not show up super often.
Oh, you know what? Actually, yeah, going back to the high technology thing, we were introduced to Jake's newspaper. That's a holographic newspaper that's delivered across Oo, because he's got an advice column in it. So that's pretty high tech.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But like, you know, then we see Ice King's computer all the time, and it does have kind of a holographic screen, but the interface is really
the interface is jank enough, and he's made of magic that like that I can kind of write off as like, yeah, I guess it's a magic technology. That's barely
And we've actually talked about that before, like maybe because of all the magic, you know, there's a real mystery around magic and technology in Oo. And we know where Princess Bubblegum ends up coming down. Like she's like, there is no such thing as magic. All magic is technology.
Yeah.
It's all just science stuff. But there's just so much stuff that doesn't really seem to fit that.
Well, sort of. I mean, this is
like magic.
I was going to say this is like a side conversation, but this is actually the conversation for our show. Is when magic is sufficiently explained, like it's magic is, let's say prayer is magic. Prayer is a form of magic. That's, I think we can both kind of agree on that. When shown
absolutely.
that there is a God that is answering those prayers, I don't think it's magic anymore. It'd be like
why not?
Because like a baby crying, a giant being comes into the room and gives it food. That's not magic. That is just a different form of nature that is not understood by the baby.
Well, I think that magic is usually seen as, by practitioners in the real world of magic, I think magic is seen as something that is part of nature. Yeah.
So I think PB's kind of right. It's just, you know, she's also like, I mean, really, in many episodes, she's painted as some weird, like, Project Paperclip Nazi scientist. So, like, you know, I think there's a certain amount of cold German engineering in her that doesn't allow for that kind of wonderful spiritual thinking.
Yeah, I think that's probably the case.
All right. So Jake is going off into the wilderness, inexplicably wearing red galoshes, to try to find Finn a girlfriend. And he hears some womanly screaming from inside of a bucket. And what do we see but Bubo from Attack of the Titans?
Bubo, two Bubos.
Two Bubos. Attacking a bucket.
Yeah. And I had a really weird time watching this episode because I don't think I'd seen it in a really long time. Like, I had kind of forgotten most of it. And I was kind of like, wait, this is the Flame Princess introduction episode, right? But, like, I don't remember any of this.
I didn't remember any of it either.
Yeah. Flambeau is in the bucket. And we talked about Flambeau not too long ago, but you know he's a pretty important character for a while until Cinnamon Bun takes over as Flame Princess.
I was trying to think about that.
Champion.
Did we meet Flambeau yet?
Yes.
When? What?
Yeah, because Jake already knew him.
Yeah, but what episode was that? I couldn't come up with it.
Hold on. I'm gonna just do the cheater thing.
Oh, sorry. I could have looked it up. I generally just think you'll remember, so I'll just ask instead of going to the internet.
There's so many of the episodes. I don't really have nerd brain for remembering all of those things in Adventure Time.
Oh, I was thinking the episode. I thought you'd remember the episode of Whiz Biz that we talked about and go, oh yeah, we were talking about. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like your memory palace is this podcast, and then you go through to the room from episode 5.
Yeah. So Flambeau, who has a Bronx accent, first showed up in Business Time.
Oh,
the episode that's in the first season. So it would have been our
the one with Brian.
It would have been our 4th episode probably.
Oh man, I don't remember him in that at fucking all. I mean, I believe the wiki.
He might have just had a really minor appearance. But yeah, that was in season 1. So Flambeau's been around for a long time. Finn uses them to light a flamethrower in season 1. But yeah, he's been in 3 episodes so far. So this is his 4th appearance, it looks like.
Yeah, and I do like his accent because it's that like old school. Did they say Brooklyn or Bronx?
Bronx, yeah,
that old like because there used to
school-
be two very distinct accents between those two, and I only know of them from. You can still hear it, but it's blended a lot into just being a New York accent. But like in the old Looney Tune cartoons, there was like Bugs has a Brooklyn accent, I think, or one of those, and it's one of the many lost accents of modernity that we've kind of condensed all of our speech into one homogenous, boring thing.
We need to start inventing new accents.
Well, the kids are doing it. That for real, bussin', etc.
Oh yeah, W Riz.
Yes, I don't know about the W part, and Riz I'm familiar with.
Well, yeah. So Riz takes some modifiers. Like W Riz is when your Riz is increasing, like you're winning.
Oh,
Riz,
W as in
also...
win, like W and or F. Okay, got it.
Yeah. Wait, what would F be?
F is fail.
Fail. Yeah, I don't know if they call it F Riz or L Riz or what when you start losing your
I was
Riz.
thinking of L, actually. Oh, yeah, sorry. F isn't the right. L was what I was
Maybe
thinking
it is L. L Riz.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Not to say that L Riz is a real thing. I have it if it is real. I've got like anti-Riz.
We call that counter Riz.
The old phrase, nobody beats the
Criz.
Riz, except for Alex.
Nobody
Alex,
beats the Riz.
Alex has no Riz.
So yeah, okay. So Flambeau. Okay, here's something that I really want to know. Flambeau seems to have a level of loyalty to Flame Princess here. Like he wants Flame Princess to get out. He probably knows that Finn and Jake, even though they are frequently bumbling idiots, get what they want.
Maybe, but I mean, also he's working for sentient fire. I can't imagine in his head he thinks, hey, you know what can stop this? That child and his dog.
No, he right. Except that, Flame Princess is locked up for a good reason, which we discover later.
I mean, yeah, I guess so. She's supposed to be evil. Why is she being locked up? Her dad's evil. He knows she's evil. Why would he lock her up?
Because there's a difference between
good?
being evil and destroying the world.
Oh, so this is like kind of that chaotic neutral, chaotic whatever, like D&D alignment thing. Okay.
Yeah. Like the Flame King is evil, but he doesn't really want to destroy the world. He wants to probably control it.
So he would be what, chaotic, lawful? I don't know their classes.
I mean, he can still be chaotic evil.
No, but he wouldn't be chaotic then. He'd be lawful evil. That's what I'm thinking of. And she'd be
maybe lawful evil or neutral. He might be neutral evil.
Yeah, and she'd be like, so I don't think she's evil. She's just chaotic. She's like a Loki.
She's chaotic neutral.
Yeah. Okay.
Definitely. Yeah.
I'm basically like a level 50 paladin now because I know all this stuff. Literally don't know if paladins are in that game.
I don't think he'd be a paladin.
Probably not. So in thanks for saving him, Flambeau's like, oh yeah, I know just the dame you're looking for. Same age as Finn.
Yeah,
let's introduce him. So they go to the Flame Kingdom or the Fire Kingdom, and which, by the way, it should be called Flame Kingdom because he's Flambeau. Flame works better. The fire throws me off.
It's Flame Princess, isn't it? Is it Fire Princess? It's Flame Princess.
It's Flame Princess, but the kingdom is the Fire Kingdom, and I think he's the Fire King, not the Flame.
And it's the Fire King.
Yeah. So wait, maybe Fire is male and Flame is female.
It's Flambeau, but isn't.
Oh yeah, that's true. Who cares? But okay. This is where the massive plot hole that's going to come up in tomorrow's episode. By tomorrow, I mean 2 weeks from now. They go to the Nightosphere. Flambeau does an incantation and writes some runes in the air, which seem very cool. They look like some kind of, I don't know, what are they? I was going to ask you.
Like Enochian Klingon mix or something like that. Yeah. And he casts Flame Shield.
He spits on Jake's head, and now Jake can interact with anything in the Flame Kingdom and not be burnt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Spoiler alert for the coming episodes, people at home. Finn and Flame Princess have a tryst going, but their physical advances are stopped by the fact that he gets burnt every time they touch.
Yeah.
Her best friend knows a spell that could make Finn be able to hold her hand or give her little 13-year-old smooches, and motherfucker never does it. Finn gets wrapped up in a tinfoil burrito so they could have any form of closeness. And there's a spell right fucking there. And I know that you don't think ahead in the show, but to me, that's a massive, massive plot hole.
It's a massive hole. They do use they do use flame shield again in the future.
Yeah, with
like every time they
Simonbot.
visit.
Yeah.
Right, but even Finn and Jake use it.
Yeah.
Or protection from fire. They use spells every time they go to the Fire Kingdom. It does make me wonder if that spell maybe only works in the Fire Kingdom. Maybe that's something we should pay attention to and see. But yeah, I agree that it's really super weird that they never use that when they're on dates.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because Flambeau isn't supposed to know that they're dating.
No, but I mean, the fact is that he can cast it. You would assume the princess of the land that he's from, who is known to use magic, could just learn the runes. It would take 4 seconds.
Yeah, she should be more invested in that relationship.
Yeah, and she's not like a dummy, and she's good at lyrics. We find out later when she becomes a rapper in probably the worst subplot in Adventure Time history. But
oh God, why did you? Oh man,
yeah, it's not good.
Okay, yeah.
I like her as a
That's in
character,
the
and I like
future.
that they kept giving that actress money. But like, boy, that's you just don't even have her on the show if that's what
Rap
you're going to do.
Bear and son of Rap Bear.
Rap Bear's fine. It's just her rapping against it was so stupid. But yeah, that flame shield causes much in the way of plot hole as next season goes on.
And then Fire King has one of the best lines of the season.
please.
Silence, my molten mamas.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah. You killed my jester.
yes.
I hated my jester. That's another fun one. Yeah. Did you look up who Flame King's voice is? It sounds very familiar. Is that like a David Keith kind of thing?
Yeah. That's who it is. Yeah.
It sounds like I just watched The Thing and he's in that, and I'm like, I think that's him.
He is, yeah. He's kind of one of those that guy actors where you see him and you're like, oh my God, it's that guy. And then you're like, what have I seen him in before? Because he shows up as a supporting actor a lot.
Well, he's in The Thing, and it's great. Everybody should watch that. And listen to John and I talk about it. John and Alex 8 stuff, available on all podcatchers.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so Jake goes through this whole rigmarole to get Flame Princess released, and Flame Princess is pissed.
Oh, wait, sorry. Correct, but let's...
Finn.
Sorry. Before we get to that, there's a great song in this episode to counteract Finn's shitty one earlier. So Jake gets a fire guitar and sings and
he plays the fire guitar.
serenade for her that he says Finn wrote.
Yes.
That's like, there's a fire inside my body, and it is a catchy goddamn song.
It is. Yes, it's a good one.
I shit on the music
It's
in
worth
the show
listening.
often enough that like I want to make sure that it's not that I just hate that little boy. And sorry, please continue your point that actually furthered the episode and didn't just...
I was just going to sort of talk about, like, it's super significant that this is the last episode of the season because it is sort of setting up Finn's first real relationship. You know, he and Flame
I'm pretty
Princess
sure he
become
fucked that horse in that one episode, though.
Okay, that's good. That's a good point. But that's not a relationship.
Oh, yeah, that's true, yeah.
A one-night stand is not a relationship.
You're right. My bad.
Especially when it's probably non-consensual.
Well, no, because it was Ice King inside of that. I'm pretty sure Ice King would be fine with it. No, you're right. It would be its first relationship. Its little 13-year-old heart, and it's adorable, and it's coming up soon. But just going back to that flame shield thing, which is like nothing in the universe would stop me at 13 if I had a willing girl there that would let me smooch her. There's no fucking way I'm not letting me not knowing a Nokian fucking script to prevent me from
I mean, can't Finn learn how to cast that
you would
spell?
think, or Jake's good at magic.
Yeah, they should have found a better way.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Well, that's
it
talk
does
for
sort
next
of,
season.
Underline the fact that Finn and Jake are kind of idiots.
Yes, this is true. Yeah. Especially Jake, because Jake's like supposed to be the adult here. Finn's allowed to be dumb. He's like a child. But Jake should know better.
But although we've learned frequently that he's pretty dumb too. He's wise in some ways and idiotic in some ways. But the final scene where the final scene, there's Flame Princess shows up at the treehouse, ready to just destroy Finn, but she accidentally sets off the ejaculating fireworks.
Chekhov's liquid pyrotechnics.
Yeah, you can't have liquid pyrotechnics without them being used. It is Chekhov's.
Yeah, it's
rule.
introduced in the first act. It has to show up in the third.
And Finn has to save her from falling, and it's still And then his last line, dude, I think I have a crush.
Yeah, which is really nice.
Like, It was great. And you know what? That's understandable too, because it's this. She's Finn's age. She's an attractive princess. She's capable and powerful, but still shows vulnerability and
who
is kind of unavailable.
Who doesn't love a bad bitch?
I know. A molten mama.
I don't use.
I mean, she is literally hot.
Yes. I don't use bitch often, but I love when like women talk to each other and refer like when they're doing well sexually as them being a bad bitch. And as I said, I'm like, yeah, I don't think that was my word to use. So apologies to the audience, but I very much enjoy it, and please understand that's used in love.
Yeah, I really do love Flame Princess as a character. She's a super delightful character. I'm really glad that she turns into a recurring character, and her storyline. At first, she is just a foil for Finn as he's growing up, but she develops into her own character, and I love it. It's great. She's got her own desires and her own motivations, and it's not the same as some of the other characters sometimes. And when push comes to shove, she turns into an excellent ruler of Fire Kingdom.
Yeah, and it's nice to like get out of the Princess Bubblegum rut. We've had 3 seasons of the same, dynamic, so it's nice to kind of move on a little bit.
Yeah. Oh man, Finn has been mooning over her since the very beginning, and it's time for him to learn more about himself.
Yeah, I can't let this episode discussion close without pointing out. I don't know this, and I'm assuming it's a childhood game that I was unfamiliar with, but BMO is standing behind Finn and sees Finn has a bit of a plumber's crack, and he puts his hands together in a triangle and says, duck, 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 goose. And the assumption is that he just shoved his hands into Finn's butt crack. That was adorable, but I was unfamiliar with that.
It's like a Japanese or Korean prank.
Oh, is that the deal? It totally makes sense. Like it's dropping a pencil down your buddy's butt crack in school when it's showing. Like totally get it, but I never the Duck Duck Goose version is hilarious, and I wish I was 8 and knew about that.
I have listened to you tell a lot of jokes over the years, and I don't think anybody would fault you for. I mean, you basically have an 8-year-old sense of humor. Yeah,
but an 8-year-old doesn't understand consent, and I do.
Right. Yes. I think it's a horrifying looking prank, and I'm glad that it's not something that ever caught on in any group of friends that I have.
It's horrifying, but it's like, well, wait a second. It's exponentially better than a wet willy. I'd much rather have my buddy because he's the one that's getting poo on his hands. Like, I'd much rather him than put your fucking wet finger in someone's ear. That's the grossest trick that's ever been played on man.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe. I don't know that. Well, I guess I've had a wet willy. It just didn't strike me as that.
Oh, it's fucking
horrifying.
Awful. Ugh. Fucking hate a wet willy. I'll give you one next time I see you. You can figure it out.
No, you won't. That's off limits. You have 0 wet willy consent.
Well, yeah.
0.
Too bad.
The whole internet knows this now. All 40
I'm
of
from the
them.
20th century. I don't understand consent. Here comes the willy.
Damn it.
I put my willy in Eric's ear and he ejaculated. Although very accurate, given my theory.
Ooh, butt stuff.
Exactly.
Reveal the path and grant me passage.
In also notes about this episode, the next note up in my Google Keep file, it's just the name Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
That has nothing to do with WizBiz. I just have no fucking idea why it's literally just the name Kyle. And I wonder if I swiped that in an attempt to write another word, didn't notice, closed it, and then I haven't seen it for like a month, so I have no memory of like trying to type, keys or keep reminding yourself to keep on trucking.
Oh, another thing about this episode that did kind of bother me is, and this is understandable, right? Like I doubt that they had the next season planned out very well when they were writing this episode. I wasn't really like, if you watch future appearances of Flame Princess and then come back and watch this one, I was kind of displeased with how her personality was portrayed while she was in her prison. Like, it just didn't seem very Flame Princess-like. And I thought that's actually one of the plot holes you're going to bring up. It's like, why was she acting like that?
Well,
Yeah.
To me, she's there. She's under the thumb of her tyrannical father. She hasn't had her first relationship. She doesn't know much about the outside world. I'm
right. Because I mean, I guess technically she's also 13.
yeah.
years
So
old.
I'm fine with you're right. It's just they didn't plan out the next season. But because of the situation we're introduced to her, I'm fine kind of writing that off of just I don't know. She hasn't learned anything yet. And
yeah.
Finn awokened
That's
in
a
her a yearning for life, the universe, and everything.
For seared flesh.
Yeah. Seared little boy lips.
I think that's pretty much all we have to say. This is the end of season 3. The next time we meet, the next time you hear us speaking about anything, well, actually, we're going to be on Twitch probably before that, but at least one of us will be playing a video game on Twitch. So you should definitely subscribe to our Twitch channel, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on the TikTok.
Yes, I am going to be playing The Legend of Zelda again very soon. I almost did it today, but I got distracted by crippling depression. But, eventually I'm going to...
It happens.
Yeah, frequently. My brain's broken. It's terrible.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, what are you going to do? You weren't my childhood. So check us out on all those things. Make sure to go to our YouTube page, because that seems to be the one that we're putting effort in, because Twitter collapsed and Blue Sky has 7 people on it. So I feel like YouTube is probably where you're going to find the best effort out of us, and as well as the TikTok.
Yeah, and you can actually subscribe to the podcast on YouTube, especially since...
Well, theoretically, because the program I was using that uploaded all of it, no longer, it's I only paid for a month. So if you guys want it, we can figure out a way to do it. It just, that's over now.
Yeah. I mean, if you are interested in that, you can always email us, whizbizpodcast@gmail.com, and tell us, hey, I would, love it if your podcast was on YouTube. I would love it if your podcast is on blah, blah, blah. And we'll check out other options if you are loyal listeners.
Yeah, we'll listen to you. And we don't have a huge audience. So your word means a lot to us. So if anybody out there
it's enormous.
Really wants to say something nice if you give us to me, or something really horrible to Eric, just email us.
If you want to, just ejaculate at us in an email, that's fine.
And just to be clear, Eric doesn't smell like butts.
It's true. I smell amazing. Like flowers. Like roses.
You smell like
Egyptian musk.
You smell like a lumberjack. Eric's like a manly musk.
Like a lumberjack. Yeah. Thank you for listening to Season 3 of WizBiz with Alex and Eric. We will be returning with Season 4 on December 19th.